When you work with pallet wood, often one of the first steps is to cut one straight edge down one side of a whole bunch of really wonky boards. You can use one of these jigs, but they involve an awful lot of clamping and unclamping, lining things up just right. Or you can splurge on these better clamps, which speed things up a little bit, but it's still very finicky and time-consuming. So I made a better jig. I took this, melamine particle board. Call it IKEA wood. It's super crappy material, just sawdust and glue, but it's straight and flat and kind of slippery, so it's perfect for jigs. I glued and screwed two pieces at right angles to each other. They're about 5 feet long. I marked just past the midpoint and put that at the front edge of my table saw so they balance on the top. Little raisin bran keeps it from being too tight, and cringe internet, I drilled 2 holes in my table saw fence. This wood came from an old hospital bed that had bolts with these wide, thin heads. I countersunk the holes with a spade bit and bolted the jig to the table saw fence with a couple wing nuts. Next step is to carve out a hole for the blade, so I raise it 1 tooth or so at a time and slide the fence back and forth until the blade can come all the way up. And it doesn't matter what kind of dust collection you've got, this is a messy job. But it's just about done. The trailing edge of the blade slot tends to grab the boards on their way through, so I took a rasp and softened that edge a little. And now here we have it, basically a table saw fence and infeed extension, which is just as easy to adjust as the table saw fence itself, and which is, I dare say, the world's fastest pallet straightening jig.